Someone just requested that I do a video on spiritual attacks. And because I'm pretty familiar with them, I'm happy to comply because I can only give from my own experience, but I can also give from the experience of others, those that have shared with me what they're going through. Number one, they're very real. And number two, anyone who tells you they're not real and that they're not getting them, I'm leery of them because I question where they're at in their walk right now, because in these end times, the demons are out in force and they use any weapon, anything they can to come against us, to discourage us, to create doubt, cause fear, cause anxiety, and to harm our relationship with Jesus Christ. That's what spiritual attacks are for. They want to damage our relationship with Jesus Christ. They want to eat away at our trust, create doubt. They attack faith, they attack hope, they attack charity. So the number one attack that everyone experiences is temptation. And temptation, of course, leads to sin. And the levels of temptation are amped up now. I've shared before that sometimes it's mind-boggling. It's surprise attacks. And it's very real. And most people will say that is a spiritual attack. That's the top of the list. But the other spiritual attacks are the ones that people don't talk about so often and don't experience as much. One that is common is anxiety or fear. And a lot of people experience it, but they don't identify it as a spiritual attack. But it is, because, like I said, it eats away at your trust. It creates doubt and harms your relationship with Jesus Christ, because he commands us not to fear. Okay, then there's the other kinds of spiritual attacks that are not quite as obvious and not experienced by everyone. There's the physical attacks. And these are identified as spiritual when they can be relieved through a spiritual means. Okay, for example, recently I was praying, and every time I would start to pray, I'd start to feel lightheaded. Okay, now that's interesting, isn't it? Well, lightheaded is a physical thing. It can be a symptom of some physical ailment. But every time I stopped praying, they went away. Okay? The lightheadedness, I should say, went away. That determines that it's a spiritual attack. Okay? Because you're doing something the demons don't want you to be doing. They don't want you to be praying. So they're going to try to get you disoriented and worried about something else so that you don't focus on the prayer, or stop you from praying altogether, which is what occurred. Because as soon as I stopped praying, that went away. Nausea all the time, feeling sick to my stomach. I will add, I'm going to do another video on shedding later. Shedding, you've heard of shedding, it's very real. And sickness and nausea is also a sign of, can be a sign of shedding that you're experiencing. Okay, I've had everything from, excuse me, I'm not so sure about that. Sudden coughing fits. I'll feel like little sharp needles almost in my throat, you know, and it's hard to swallow. Deterrence to prayer, once again. I've had squeezing, my arms feel like they're being squeezed, my shoulders being squeezed, my legs. I've actually, some of these things I'm a little leery about sharing because people are going to think, wow, but they're real. They're real. And if it helps anyone, that's why I'm doing this. Good. Bites. I have felt like bites on especially on my feet. Strange, isn't it? One person said she saw in my videos, she saw large spiders crawling around. You know, she perceived that. Well, I'm not saying that that's the case, but I am saying that I have experienced bites and bite marks. Okay? So these are the physical manifestations of what is a spiritual attack. Then there's the head games that they play, causing you to not trust yourself, your own thoughts, fuzzy thinking, cloudy thinking, a very common spiritual attack. Then there's the dream attacks. Oh, absolutely. That's a big spiritual attack. They come into your dreams, and you can tell you have a sense in your dreams right away that you're dealing with something demonic. The nature of the dream, if it's excessively violent, sexual dreams, yes. But also, I actually had the appearance in a dream recently of a kind of an elfin-like witch figure demon. Yeah. And it's good, though, that we can recognize in our dreams right away what they are. And I pray against these dreams, too. You can pray against them, and they do diminish and they do lessen. But I have one friend, she has nightmares all the time, and they're spiritual attacks. Frightening things, really, that cause her to wake up screaming. These are a few. If I come up with more, I will not entertain you exactly, but I will certainly share it with you, because anyone who doesn't believe in spiritual attacks or doesn't acknowledge spiritual attacks is on another planet at this point in time. They're so amped up, is what I'm saying, because we are in the end times and we are approaching major things, and the demons know their time is short, so the attacks are all the more increased. So I would question how worldly they are, how wrapped up they are in the world, if they don't understand, don't hear, or especially don't experience them.